Right now at noon, an arrest in the hunt for the suspect accused of shooting two Portland police officers earlier this month. Plus, a former Portland Trailblazer makes his return to state politics, throwing his hat in the ring with a bid for the governor of Oregon. And tens of millions of Americans across the central and eastern U.S. are being battered by a winter storm. And later, the Seattle Seahawks have punched their first ticket back to the Super Bowl in more than a decade. Your News at Noon starts now. We begin here at noon with breaking news. The Portland Police Bureau announced the arrest of the man accused of shooting and injuring two officers last week in Northeast Portland. Celine Stevens joins us live from where that arrest happened on Northeast 82nd Avenue. Celine, what have you learned?
Stephanie, so that suspect was arrested at 7 in the morning during a tactical operation and without incident. Now, Portland police had the assistance of the U.S. Marshals and other federal, state, and local partners for help with this case. This all follows the shooting of two Portland police officers last Monday. Those officers were shot by a suspect on Northeast Clackamas Street, landing them both in the hospital. We now know one officer was released from the hospital last week. As far as we currently know, that other officer, who is a 17-year veteran with the force, is still hospitalized. So we spoke with one employee today at Park and Fly who says she saw the police activity early this morning and thinks the suspect might have been harassing them too.
We've seen a bunch of tactical units and them bringing a gentleman out of down over across the street from our work. We just had trouble with him, like vandalism, harassing staff at our job, vandalizing some of our co-workers' vehicles and stuff like that.
Again, it has not been confirmed by police that this is the same individual. However, that employee says she strongly suspects it's the same person. She even showed me a grainy image from their security cameras that showed a person wearing a very similar outfit to that suspect. Again, that person was taken into custody and is being questioned by detectives. We'll continue to update as we get more information. But for now, Stephanie, back to you.
All right. Thank you for that update, Celine. Meanwhile, police are looking for a suspect they say shot and killed one person in southeast Portland earlier this morning. Portland police say this happened around 2:30 near southeast 134th and Harold Street in the Powellhurst-Gilbert neighborhood. When first responders arrived, they found a victim with gunshot wounds. They tried to save the victim, but they died at the scene. Portland police are asking anyone with information about this shooting to contact them. And new at noon, former Portland Trailblazer Chris Dudley has announced his bid for governor of Oregon. He made the announcement in a video posted to social media this morning. Dudley previously ran for governor in 2010 when he lost to the Democratic candidate John Kitzhaber by a narrow 25,000 votes. He will be running as a Republican candidate and will have to contend against State Senator Christine Drazen, State Rep Ed Deal, and Marion County Commissioner Daniel Bethel. Now, whoever secures the Republican nomination is expected to face current Governor Tina Kotek in November. Turning now to the fallout after a second deadly shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis this month. As protests continue over the death of 37-year-old Alex Preddy, President Donald Trump announced he is sending the border czar, Tom Homan, to Minneapolis. NBC's Morgan Chesky has more from Minneapolis. A warning, this story does contain video of that shooting that some viewers may find difficult to watch.
Yeah, here in Minneapolis, another incredibly tense night following the shooting death of 37-year-old VA nurse Alex Preddy. There were multiple arrests overnight after protesters clashed with authorities outside of a hotel that they believed federal agents were staying at. In the meantime, two federal law enforcement sources now tell NBC News that they believe DHS will be the lead agency into the investigation of Preddy's death, assisted by the FBI and the DOJ, which notably is a deviation from what is standard protocol. In the meantime, there is an absolute palpable tension here with the release of multiple different angles capturing this fatal encounter between Preddy and federal agents there Saturday morning, where he appeared to help a woman holding a phone in his hand before being taken to the ground, contradicting DHS statements saying that he approached the area brandishing a firearm. NBC News has independently verified at least 5 separate angles of this shooting, which is certainly igniting a new firestorm in this city following the shooting death of Renee Good nearly 3 weeks ago. In the meantime, we know that a federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from altering or destroying any evidence in Pretty's shooting investigation after local officials here sued. And in an interview with the Wall Street Journal, President Trump said that federal authorities here will eventually have to leave at some point, but that they've done a phenomenal job. But he did not offer a clear timeline as to when that could eventually take place. Notably, when asked if he believed if this agent did the right thing or not, the president did not give a clear answer. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Minneapolis.
Let's give you a live look now at the Capitol building because the chances of a partial federal government shutdown later this week are growing. This comes after congressional Democrats announced they would not support a Department of Homeland Security spending bill unless it includes changes that impose conditions on immigration enforcement operations. And here in the Pacific Northwest, that shooting also sparked local protests. Last night, a candlelight vigil was held in Forest Grove. The group behind this vigil, Indivisible Forest Grove, says the event was meant to build solidarity within the local community, even if the shooting happened in a different state.
Alex Pretty died defending another woman as she was being brutalized by ICE. Renee Good died because she was defending her neighborhood against ICE. Over and over, the government is telling us, these are our enemies, these are domestic terrorists. We are not domestic terrorists. We just care about our neighbors.
On Saturday, hundreds showed up at Portland's South Waterfront neighborhood for a rally and then eventual march to the ICE building where the crowd only grew. Portland police ended up arresting 4 people Saturday night. The charges of the 4 arrested range from disorderly conduct to attempted assault. One person is accused of throwing glass candles at federal officers. No arrests at the ICE building were made last night. And stay with KGW as we continue to follow the Minneapolis ICE shooting. We will bring you the latest updates both on air and online on our website, kgw.com. Well, another big story today. More than 100 million Americans are under winter weather alerts this afternoon with a massive winter storm hammering the U.S. right now. Much of the South, Midwest, and East Coast are seeing freezing temperatures, ice, and snow. As of this morning, at least 9 people have died from weather-related causes. That includes a 16-year-old girl in Frisco, Texas, who was riding a sled being pulled by a pickup truck when it slammed into a tree. Hundreds of thousands of people are waking up in the dark because of widespread power outages. In Tennessee, more than 200,000 customers are without power. The majority of those are in and around Nashville. All right, let's check in with meteorologist Rod Hill with a better look really at this storm.
And to be very clear, the storm is over. We're just dealing with the cold aftermath, the cold temperatures, which means nobody's thawing out. And as Stephanie pointed out, the snow and the ice that's on the ground is absolutely still paralyzing travel in many locations. So these are the current temperatures. 28 degrees, still below freezing in Dallas. It was below freezing this morning all the way down to New Orleans and actually all the way down to Brownsville, Texas. Crazy. Currently 14 in St. Louis. Chicago was 0. Now they're up to 7. It was below 0 this morning in Iowa, Minneapolis, and up into Fargo. But those areas are at least above freezing right now. Still very, very cold. And the warm up is going to be gradual. A lot of the region will still be seeing temperatures freezing to sub-zero even tomorrow, and then a little warmer Wednesday and a little warmer on Thursday. Now, there are snow showers still in New York and up into New England, but out here is the front that is taking the precipitation part of the storm with it. So most areas are dry. Now, here at home, not so fast. Portland, we've been dry. We're seeing a mix of kind of partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. We'll continue that this afternoon. This is all being reported as very light precip from near Salem down into Eugene, where temperatures are above freezing. Earlier this morning, there was the threat of some light freezing rain down in that area. Chinook Woods Casino Resort in Lincoln City, downtown Portland, looking mighty fine. We're at 42 degrees. The wind direction is east. It's chilly outside. This shows we get up to about 47 at 2 o'clock. And then we'll be dry this evening, but it will be chilly. We'll be in the 30s maybe by 7 p.m. tonight. 7-day forecast actually has raindrops on it. Stephanie, that's coming up.
Okay, we'll see that, Rod. Thank you. Well, the weather we're seeing also is impacting travel here in the Northwest. Dozens of flights have been canceled or delayed today at PDX. This is a look at the latest delays and cancellations on flypdx.com. As of right now, we're seeing 39 delays and 3 flight cancellations. Our Libby Dowsett has more from PDX on how flights around the country are being impacted.
Here at PDX, a series of cancellations and delays mainly for Dallas, Chicago, Houston, all the areas being affected by this storm right now. We talked to one person whose relatives out east have had their flights delayed multiple times. But for the most part, the people we talked to here at PDX were headed to locations not affected by the storm. However, we talked to one person who says his flight has been canceled multiple times and he's finally getting on a plane now.
Delayed, switched, and then the new flight was delayed as well. So we'll see how it goes.
We had family going to Oklahoma. They've been canceled 3 times.
And we got out before the storm, and everybody else is buried.
Airports in Dallas, Fort Worth, Atlanta, Chicago, and New York faring the worst for cancellations and delays, with thousands of dropped flights across the country, according to FlightAware.com. In Portland, Libby Dowsett, KGW News.